Hello all, welcome to this session. In this session, we will learn how to draw a hexagonal bolt, and also we will learn how to draw the hexagon using width across flats method. Width across flats method. In last class, we learned how to draw a hexagon using width across using the dimension width across corners. Here in this class, we will take the dimension of width across the flats. Let's get into the session. Let's take a quick recap of the nomenclature of the hexagonal bolt. So this is the length of bolt, and this portion is the length of the threaded portion, and this is the thickness of bolt head. This portion, the entire portion, is actually called as bolt head. So this is the thickness of bolt head, and this is the distance across two opposite flats, and this is the distance across two opposite corners, and this is chamfer. This portion is chamfer, and the radius is called as chamfer radius. Okay, now let's proceed to draw this hexagonal bolt. To draw the hexagonal bolt, let me take this as the front view. Then when you look from the top side, this will be the top view. So the top view will be like this. And the side view, this is the front view, top view, and the side view is like this. Just two faces, side view. So plan for the sheet before proceeding it. Title block, bill of materials, and this portion will be for front view, top view, and here the left side view, and this portion we can use it to write the nomenclature of this bolt. Okay. So I have planned my sheet. Draw the title block, bill of materials column, and nomenclature of hexagonal bolt. Everything is available here. Now we have to draw the three views. I'm going to place the front view here and top view here. So as we discussed in the last class, drawing the hexagon is the most important thing in this exercise. So let me start my exercise from the top view. In this exercise, we draw the hexagon in the top view. So let me develop the view from the let me start my drawing from the front view. So draw a horizontal and vertical line. Mark a center point where two line intersects. Mark a center point. Then taking here we are going to use the width across flats method. So that is 33 mm. Means the dia of the circle is 33 mm. Taking half of this this dimension, means radius of this. So that is 33 means 16.5. So taking 16.5 in compass, draw a circle by keeping this as the center. We have to draw a tangent of 60 degree, a tangent of 60 degree at the four quadrants, 1, 2, 3 and 4. So to draw the tangent of 60 degree, you can use mini drafter or T-square or even set square, whatever is convenient to you. So let me draw the 60 degree tangent with the set square I have. Okay, so now I am going to I have aligned this line with the vertical. This is the 60 degree set square. Let me use the 60 degree set square to draw the tangent of this method. This is the way you have to use. So make a very light line, because later you have to erase it. So just make a thin line or very light line, right? Similarly, you have to draw the tangent of 60 degree at all four quadrants. I hope you can see the tangent lines here. 1 2 3 4. Even if it's not visible, no problem. And later in this video we will dark it, that time you can see it clearly. Then once the four tangents are done, what you have to do, draw two horizontal lines. Draw two horizontal lines at the top and bottom point where it intersects the vertical line. Now you can notice two horizontal lines are drawn at the top and bottom point of the circle. Now the skeleton of the hexagon is ready. So to check it, see, this is the length of each face of the hexagon. If you check it, all the face length must be equal. If everything is according to the dimension drawn correctly, it must be equal. Right. Now the dark the required portion and trim the excess lines. Let me dark only the required portion, and I'll erase the other portions. The hexagon is ready, and also here in this view, the internal circle also visible. It will also be visible. See, it will also be visible. So we can dark the circle also. Make this circle thicker, then trim the excess lines. Okay. I've got a beautiful view. Now let me trim the excess portions of this diagram. The most important part of the hexagon or the top view is done. Now we can draw the front view. Front view by projecting projection lines from the top view. Let me project the lines to the front view. It's perfectly it's aligned with the margin line. Then I have projected all the projection lines to the front view. Now if you notice one more thing, take your scale. See, this must be equal to the width across corners. See, here it is 40 mm. 40 mm is the one. If we choose the width across the corners, we choose 40 mm, right? So if we do if everything is correct according to the dimension, it must be equal to 40 mm. It must be equal to 40 mm. Now let me draw the front view. The thickness of the bolt head is 20 mm. So let me start drawing from here. This portion is almost similar to the one we did it last time, but the only difference is the chamfering portion only on the upper side, and lower side no need for chamfering. See, in lower side no need for chamfering, only the upper side. Why? Because the spanner, we use the spanner only on the upper side, not from the lower side. So that's the reason chamfer is given only on the top side. And also here this portion I can draw the length of body, length of the bolt. The length of the bolt is 80 mm, 4D. So I can draw up to here. So let me draw the skeleton of the front view. Now the skeleton of front view is done. What I am going to do now I am going to make the chamfer. Chamfer radius of chamfer is 1.5D, same like last case. So here I can take the radius of chamfer in compass 30 mm. Then by keeping it here, right, the chamfer is done. Then you can rest of the things you can complete it like we did in last session. Draw a horizontal line where the chamfer arc cuts this vertical line. From that intersection point, make a horizontal line. From these points, these intersection points, till the next line. Right. Then from this end, draw a 30-degree line. Then by freehand sketching, connect these two edges. So the two 30-degree lines are drawn. Now I can start the freehand sketching from this point as well as this point and connect it to the center line. To this point. Then dark all required lines. The bolt head, nominal dia are done now. Now what I am going to do, I have to mark the threaded portions. The threaded portion here, the length of threaded portion is 40 mm. So from this point I have to mark a 40 mm or at the mid of this point. Then I have to mark the threaded portion. You don't have to draw the complete thread, just a representation for the threading is sufficient. Here actually the threading is external threading. So the representation what you have to use is it must be for external threading. Length of the threaded portion is 40 mm. So let me make 40 mm from the end. Let me mark 40 mm from the end. Connect these two points by a thin line. Then now we have to mark the threaded portion. The thread may be there's no need that it must be exactly as per the dimension, just a representation. So you can take 1 to 2 convenient at a convenient dimension. Mark a point here. Then connect from here, from the bottom edge till here. Now connect this edge and this edge by a freehand sketching. Here also it is just a freehand sketching connecting. At the bottom you have to make a small arc by freehand sketching, or you can use the French curves, to draw a arc. Let it be like this. That's all. Let me slightly increase the thickness of this line. Now the front view of the bolt is completed, but the top view is not yet completed. Why? Because the nominal dia of the bolt is not shown here. So let me draw the nominal dia portion and also the threaded portion, but it must be a hidden line. It must be a hidden line. Right. To draw the nominal dia, let me take 10 mm dia, 10 mm radius using compass, 10 mm radius, then 10 mm radius, and draw a intermittent circle here by keeping this point as a center. By keeping this point as center, let me draw the dia or radius 10 mm, dia 20 mm circle, complete circle, but hidden line. Okay, then just reduce 2 mm, means 8 mm. Radius is 8 mm. Draw another one. Now this circle is a complete circle. Now draw a circle of only the 3/4 part of a circle. By keeping the same point, draw a concentric circle of radius 8 mm, but it must be 3/4. Okay, so now both the top view and front view are completed. Now I can start side view. I can start projecting from the both top and front view. Right. And one more point you can notice, if everything is drawn according to the dimension, this corner and the body of the nut, this corner and the body of the this corner, body of the nut, this corner, all these four must be inlined. Let me draw the projection line. So I have already drawn a 45 degree line here. Then let me project the top view. Projection lines from top view are done. Now let me draw the lines from the front view. So just dark the lines where the lines comes from the top view and the front view. Means the required lines. Just dark the required lines. And the nominal dia and the threaded portion I have not yet projected here, because it needs, once we form the skeleton, then thereafter we can project it to the side view. So now I have the required portions of bolt head are now dot. Then make the chamfer by 30 degree line from here, and then connect this edge and this edge by freehand sketching. The two edges are done. Now let me connect this edge, this end and this end by freehand sketching. Then draw the nominal dia of the bolt. Just project it from the top view. Then now all the views are completed. Now you can draw the center lines wherever the circular parts are there. For example, here you can draw the center line. Here this portion, the entire bolt and bolt, you can draw the circular line. Center line. And this reason we already discussed in last video. Why it is straight, while here it is chamfered. So if you have any doubt, you can visit the you can watch the previous video. Now let me Now let me draw the center line. The center lines are drawn to here. Now you can name the views, draw the names and dimension the views. If you draw the names and dimension the views, then the drawing is completed. And fill the bill of materials column and title block rows, then the drawing is completed. Okay, now the view names are written, the views are dimensioned, title block, this one, bill of material is filled, title column fields are filled. So now the drawing is completed. Right. I hope you must have got some basic idea about how to draw a hexagonal nut using width across flats method. Thank you. Thanks for watching. Thank you.